Hello everyone, I'm Commander Pax coming at you with yet another video. That's right, 2 videos in one day. I sent a short out and now I'm giving you this. As you can see, I'm wearing my helmet once more and I have this World War II gear on. We're reviewing something special today. Now we're not going to talk about the helmet on top of my helmet. I'll get around to that later. Today, however, we will be reviewing, quite possibly, one of my favorite guns ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, the Thompson SMG gun. Now, I'm going to drop the accent because I haven't done it in a hot minute. So I'm going to have to go back and review it. Now, I will be shooting this thing, don't worry. As you can see from the orange tip on top, this is not a real firearm. This is purely a recreation, otherwise known as an airsoft gun. If you are unaware of what an airsoft gun it is, well, you have three basic classifications of an airsoft gun. You have what this is, being an electric, or AEG, for simpler. Airsoft electric gun, something like that. I don't know exactly what the classification, its full name is. So you have this, an AEG. You also have your more standard for your pistols, CO2 powered. Now what do I mean by CO2 powered? I mean something like this. This is an HK USP. Notice that little gray tank in the middle. That is a gas canister. That holds a lot of CO2 in it. Hence the name CO2 pistol. Most pistols like that are blowbacks, which means every time you pull the trigger, the slide goes back and racks another. You also have your spring actions. What are spring actions? I'm glad you asked. I'll show you. This is a shotgun. This is a really fucking old shotgun. It works. Surprisingly, it works. It actually works really well. It's weird. It's funky. Occasionally, when you use the pump action, it'll end up firing. As I said, it is old. I will have to refurbish it. I got that for like $3, maybe $6. No, I got that for $3. I got my friend one of the same model for another $3, so in total I spent $6 on those. Most spring actions will come with very cheap guns or with snipers. I have seen electrically powered sniper rifles. I've also seen gas powered sniper rifles. Those hurt very much. My first match I went to, I got shot in the nuts with one. He was halfway across the map, and I was stupidly wearing clone armor. Homemade clone armor, that is, and I didn't have a dick piece. My friends, if you're watching that, you know exactly what happened, because I was on the floor calling for you assholes. Go fuck yourselves. No, jokes aside. This is the Thompson SMG, the M1A1. The USA's pride and joy of World War II. I will give you guys a firing test, and after that, I'll go into the history and why I love this thing so damn much. Fuck, I'm turning into Grantham now. Alright, I will see you guys in my backyard. Hey guys, as you can see, we are now outside. Slick, wasn't it? That's right. I have a rangefinder. That's right. I'm cool. I'm cool like that. You know how it works. Anyways, guys, as you can see, we are now outside. Never mind my dog's barking. That's alright. Now, if you by any chance do follow my Instagram, you've seen me take photos with this thing. You also know that, like a regular Thompson, it takes stick mags. We're not going to load stick mag just yet. I want to show you guys how the battery works on this thing. So I have an older Thompson on this. I used to have an older Thompson. I had an M1A1. I had an M1 Thompson. There is a difference, trust me. I will explain that soon. So the M1 Thompson I had a removable stock. This isn't removable. Trust me, it isn't. I have tried multiple times to remove it. I cannot. In order to do that, I will need to unscrew this thing. I don't want to do that because I love this thing too much. If I had another, maybe. Right. Where the battery goes, in the butt stock, you'll see I have this thing right here. I flip that out, pull, turn. And out comes a little doodad for me to use. Now, in order to insert the battery, I'm using the one that it came with for now. If that doesn't work, then I will end up using the one that I had bought, which is significantly larger in size and hopefully has full charge. I'm hoping this works. Otherwise, I'm going to be in some deep shit. That means I'll have to buy a new battery. I don't want to deal with that. What are they barking at? Oh, they have dogs out. I don't know if they're barking at the neighbor's dogs outside. Yeah, my dogs are very territorial. It's not really my dogs, it's my stepmom's dogs, but you know. So, now that the battery's been inserted, we are good. We are ready to start firing. So, a little thing I want to show you guys on this. This isn't your average AEG. Don't worry, safety stuff. I made sure. I triple checked. There's nothing in this. My dad taught me to treat everything as if it is a real firearm. I'm doing the same with this. I implore you to do the same. So, what is so different about this AEG from most? Well, nothing much. This has something I can pull back. Most things that you get for this price, like most AEGs, they don't have this. They don't have that motion. Now, sadly enough, it doesn't do that when I pull the trigger. I have to do it manually. This has no effect on it. It is just purely for aesthetics. Now let's get to the firing test, shall we? This is a high cap magazine. This magazine right here holds 480 rounds. I have 3 of them. You do the math. 480 times 3. That's a lot. Sadly, this can't take drum mags. I'll explain why after when I'm back upstairs. So, in order to insert it, you do exactly like an actual Thompson. See this thing right here? That cut out? Ta-da! You do a little twisty on the bottom, make sure we don't have any problems. Now we're good to fire. I'll take a step back for you guys so you can see. So I was just firing semi-auto. This has a full auto function. I'll show you guys right now. This thing's nice. I love this thing. Now, this isn't exactly standard Thompson. What I mean by that is most Thompsons of the time period that were made were 11 pounds. This is definitely not 11 pounds. This is about 7, maybe 6. So, significantly lighter, which is nice. Not very cool when you're playing Airsoft, when you have to lug this thing around. But that's the price you get. That's the price you pay for using a metal Thompson. This is real metal. A little neat thing about the sight as well. This thing is movable. You can actually move this thing. Up, down, and you can't move it left or right. I don't really want to do that right now, so we're not going to. I will get back upstairs and take it from there. So now we're back inside, I can do a full rundown on this thing. Take the battery out, because I didn't get around to doing that. I was outside. Most because I didn't want to deal with the hassle of it. Now I'm doing it with a helmet on. It really shows you, really tells you a lot about me. There we go. If it has been apparent to you by now, I don't have a script. I just do things, and I hope it comes out good. So, the Thompson. What do I love so much about it? I love the style of it. It is so just, it's iconic. It's as iconic as an American symbol as it is like a clone trooper rushing into battle, punching up a shit ton of clankers. There's just something that feels so right about it. Okay, serious note. Why do I love the Thompson SMG so much? It is just so reliable. I have done thousands of hours of research on this SMG. It is unreal. I love this thing. So the Thompson SMG actually didn't start out like this as we know it. No. For us, we have to go way back. All the way into quite possibly, maybe, just maybe, the late 1800s, very, very early 1900s. Now when I say 1900s, I mean, we're not in the 10s yet. Maybe we are. I'm not entirely sure. There's not been a lot of things I could find on it. So, why the early 1900s? Because the Thompson SMG was not originally named the Thompson submachine gun. However, the term was coined because of this. No, that came much later. Originally, General Thompson, the founder of Auto Ordnance, who was also brigadier, he was a brigadier general, brigadier. I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to pronounce it. No, this was originally named the Thompson Persuader. I will show a picture of that on screen soon, or maybe right now as I'm editing. Woo! Power of post-production. Yes, the Thompson Persuader sucked ass. It was terrible. It was just, oh my god, it was bad. It didn't perform all that well. It was really fucking ugly as well. Like, just overall, it wasn't a good SMG. We then got the Thompson Persuader Mark II. I can't really find anything on that. Trust me, I have tried. I have looked thousands and thousands of times. I have not found anything. So then, we finally, quite possibly one of my favorite prototype submachine guns, the Thompson Trench Broom. Notice how Thompson's finally in there. We're finally starting to take shape of what the Thompson was meant to be. The Thompson Trench Broom, otherwise known as Thompson Annihilator. That thing is nice. It is very, very, very good looking. You may know it from Battlefield 5. That was a real prototype. That is a real thing. The Thompson Annihilator, however, was not used in service. It was days short of making it. That is true. It never made it to service, but it was very nice. It worked very well at what it was supposed to do. It was sleek and it was elegant. It didn't have this stock on here. And it didn't have sights. This thing, by the way, the charging handle, it was on top. You had a top handle. You had to do it from that. It also didn't have this triangle piece up here. No, it had an actual grip on it, like the 1927. Its magwell was also much different. You actually had a hole that you needed to stick the mag into. The stick mags remained. Those did stay. Now, as I said, you didn't have the rear sights, you didn't have the front sights. Your sight was the charging handle. It was the bolt. I don't know how that worked. We went through about 3 iterations of those before we finally made it to 1921. You all know what happened in 1921. I'm not talking about Chicago. We're not... Fuck Chicago. 1921, we had the first iteration of the Thompson submachine gun. The true first iteration of this beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. We later went to 1927, where not much had changed. The 1921 variant had a removable stock. You can remove this thing, that's right. The sights were much more sophisticated. They were much more fancy as well. The top bolt remained, the open bolt, up top. We had that fancy little grip up front. We didn't have this block right here. And the barrel was, I don't want to say vented. What's the word I'm looking for? Perforated. I don't fucking know. The point is, it was special. It was a different type of barrel. Along came 1927. Nothing changed. 1928. That's what was made for a very, very long time. All the way up into World War One. Or World War Two. My bad. My mistake. All the way into World War Two was that model used. When military logistics and Marines wanted to find a way... when military logistics wanted to find a way to make this cheap to produce. Because the Thompson submachine gun was expensive and it was complicated. That is a very true statement. These things were complicated little beautiful things. Hey, here's the hop-up, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I'm sorry. So, the Thompson submachine gun was chambered in 45 ACP. God's caliber. This, however, is chambered in plastic BBs, otherwise known as 6mm. I'm getting off topic, off track. So the first revision was the 1928 A1. That got rid of the fancy barrel, or that didn't get rid of the fancy. That got rid of the fancy grip. The barrel stayed. It also got rid of the fancy sights as well. And I believe that the bolt was transferred to the side. I will have to fact check myself on that. The M1A1, the M1 Thompson was yet another simplification. It still retained the drum mag approach, which was made in the 1921 model. So the 1921, 1927, 1928, 28A1, M1 all had the drum mag cut out. So you could slide in your 50, 100 round magazine and just let loose. In the M1, the bolt was transferred to the side, like we all know and love. And the fancy barrel was removed. The grip was gone. And it was much closer to what we have now, otherwise known as the M1A1 Thompson. Now, the reason why the M1A1 Thompson doesn't have a cutout for the drum mag is because it was heavy. A common problem that the soldiers and Marines were complaining about was the fact that the drum mag was just so heavy and it made so much noise, it rattled around when you're running. And these guys had to carry like four of these things, maybe more. So all that extra weight and all that extra noise made it pretty easy for you to get killed. So military logistics thought up the only thing they could do, and that was remove the drum mag. With the removal of the drum mag, we were given a 30-round stick mag, a 20-round stick mag, and a 10-round stick mag. Those exist. The 10-round is cursed. Do not buy that. Otherwise, there's something wrong with you. And that is what remained of the beautiful Thompson. And that was in use for a little bit of Vietnam as well. It was in use from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Sadly, that is when we stopped using this thing in preference of the much cheaper, much more simpler to use, much more reliable, and well, it was cheaper, and it was easier to mass produce. It was just as reliable, but it fired much slower than the M3 submachine gun, otherwise known as the grease gun. That was used until the 80s. I know, 10 years longer. Wow. So there's your history. You know, I've actually thought about turning this into a series, you know? Like, I explore airsoft guns or something like that, and I give you guys history on it. Obviously not the history part. I really just know a whole lot about Smith Thompson. That is my baby. That's all I really know. I dress up accordingly, though, you know. Right now I'm wearing World War II gear, because I'm talking about this bad boy. I don't know. When I talk about more modern guns, maybe I'll wear some BDUs with my clone gear. I don't know. Let's say if I had a Sterling, I'd just fucking wear my clone gear. Of course, I don't have a Sterling because I have poor money management issues. And because it's sold out on Evike. And because I don't have an actual set of clone gear. I have fucking clone Mandalorian armor. Oh, technically, that is basically my custom gear. Oh, hello. Where are you? I don't think you're supposed to do that. Hang on a minute. Have you always been there? What the fuck? I'm not gonna fuck around with that. Anyways, there you guys go. There's your video, and I'll see you all on the battlefield. This is Commander Pax. I love you guys. I will see you later.